Welcome back to the Pig Trail Show. As always, we have our Hoops insider, Kevin McPherson, joining us on the show. And Kevin, we have a lot to talk about this week, especially when it comes to the Pro Hogs. They have been dominating the conversation right now, especially Jalen Williams making it official with the Thunder yesterday, signing his rookie contract, 4-year, $8.2 million deal. What do you think about that? Any insight on that contract?
Well, I've got a couple of sources that have been close to his process throughout, going back to April when he went to do workouts in Miami, testing the waters and throughout to where we are now. And, I was told that his guaranteed money for the first 2 years is somewhere between 3.5 and 3.9 million. The Thunder have not officially released any details about the contract signing. And once they do, that's as far as they'll go. They won't put out, terms. But we got that 4-year, $8.2 million, those numbers from the Athletic on Saturday. And I'm told it's 3.5 to 3.9 million guaranteed, somewhere in that range. I don't have a final number there for the first 2 years. And I was also told the last 2 years on the back end are both team options. So we'll see. I've not been able to confirm that information. I'm a little bit hesitant to even bring it up, but you
Yeah,
asked. So I'll tell you what I think I know. And by the way, speaking of contracts, Bobby Portis, we didn't talk about it last
we
week,
didn't.
but he agreed to coming back to Milwaukee, his third contract in as many years with Milwaukee. This one's a little sweeter, right? 4 years, nearly 49 million.
Ooh,
There's a kicker in there, a 15% kicker. And what that means is if Milwaukee at any point tries to trade him during the length of that contract, Portis will get an extra 15% of what he was owed. So it's almost kind of like a built-in reason for Milwaukee not to be, even a little bit tempted to put him in a trade. But he's been so good to the organization. Fans love him. Helped him win an NBA title for the first time in 50 years 2 years ago. And this is more money. I think on the market he would have brought 15 to 20 million a year somewhere else. But I think he's happy where he is. He's getting 4 years here. And he's got a little control in there. I think the final year on that's a player option plus that kicker I talked about. So I think this is a good deal for both Bobby Portis and Milwaukee. I think Jalen Williams' deal is good. And then we got Hogs, Courtney, to talk
I
about that are
know.
playing in the summer league, including Jalen Williams.
Oh, that's what I was just about to bring up, Kevin. We have other Pro Hogs to talk about. Impressive performances in the summer league by Moses Moody. Whoa, popping off this week. Isaiah Joe. Talk about some of the other Pro Hogs that are playing right now. Stanley and Moody as well. So, I mean, talk about them and their performances this week.
Well, they've been consistently good. Moses Moody, 34 points a couple of days ago. Got those in 3 quarters of play, by the way, which
Yeah, he's
puts him
good.
in rare company. I think he's only the third lottery pick in summer league play to ever score that many points,
Wow.
which is saying a lot. He's going into his second season after a really good rookie season and winning an NBA title himself. Back-to-back years, Pro Hogs have won a title. But Moses Moody, we talk about the scoring there. He had a really nice shooting night. But the other things he does, drawing offensive fouls when he's on defense, blocking shots. He's a good passer on the wing. I keep saying it. Moses Moody, Isaiah Joe, 24 points yesterday and hit 7 of 9 from three. Has an outstanding aim. Also defensively, drawing those offensive fouls, either taking charges. Both of these guys play so hard in the two-man game on the perimeter as they get over screens and force the screener to adjust and pick and draw those offensive fouls. So sometimes being a good defender is one thing, but making plays on the defensive end and getting possessions out of that, winning possessions, on just something you did as an individual goes a long way. So I keep saying these guys are more than 3-and-D. That's what they've been talked about by all the gurus and experts as far as what their ceiling might be at the NBA level. I disagree. I think they're more than 3-and-D guys. I think they're more than 3-point shooters who space the floor. And I think they're more than just reliable and good, solid defenders. I think they make plays on the defensive end. I think both of them are excellent passers from that wing spot. They both can create putting the ball on the deck, even though they're not primary handlers. They do a good job, and then they play the right way. They're unselfish. They
Yeah.
make sure the ball moves, and it's not just all about them. So I think both of these guys in summer league, it is summer league.
Yeah,
These are
it
young
is.
players trying to figure out if they're going to make it in the G League, let alone the NBA. But still, so far, when you look at the work that both of these guys have done, have been consistently good. And so far, two of the top names in all of summer league, We'll see if they continue that as it goes through the 17th. But I think both Moses Moody and Isaiah Joe have done well. And let's talk real quickly about some other Hogs. Stanley Moody
Yeah.
last night makes his NBA Summer League debut, game two for the Detroit Pistons. 12 points in 11 minutes, efficient, made his first
I
three
thought that was
shots,
really great.
made his first four shots actually.
Yeah.
Finished 4 or 5 from the field, 3 or 4 from three. Had an and one on a nice little finish inside. Had a block shot. So just doing little things, and a guy those are the kind of numbers you want to have when
Mhm.
you're trying to get yourself more minutes in the summer league, so you can build on that. And we've seen guys in the past like Daryl Macon earn himself a two-way contract by being good in summer league play. Got undrafted free agents, and so we know Stanley signed that Exhibit 10
Yeah.
contract. It's a 1 year minimum, non-guaranteed. And so performances like that help him stick around, whether it's finishing, getting more minutes in summer league, and then helping himself to getting a chance in the G League, and maybe one of those two-way contracts that gets one of those. It's typically a $500,000 salary for the year, but you get chances to play and move up in the NBA. And with an 82 game regular season, injuries and other things, players getting rest, that gives you chances.
Oh, it definitely does. And it's nice to see those guys. You want to see all those guys succeed and make it and live out their dreams in the league. So I love watching all of them. It has been, I know it is summer league, but it's still been fun to watch all of those guys play and have performances that are incredibly impressive. And it's just nice to see them. And speaking of, nice to see those guys playing, one of the guys who has been hyping up those guys a lot, Eric Musselman, he's been posting a lot about the Pro Hogs, and he's been posting a lot about summer practices as well. It feels like Hog fans get an inside look at what's going on over summer with the current team because of Eric Musselman and all the analysis and the clips he's posting from those practices. I mean, how awesome is that, especially for you too, as someone who follows this team? How great is that to get an inside look?
Well, you want to see as much as you can, not only from a fan standpoint, not only from a journalist standpoint, but from a staff standpoint. You want to market your program, and so there's a win there for everybody. And I think some of the insights, when you look at little specific clips of highlights, there's a lot going on. There's 10 players on the floor. So you not only see who made the big play, but you see what other players around them are doing to either help facilitate that with somebody out of position, and it helped the part of the reason why there was a great play. There's all kinds of stuff to look at, and I really enjoy breaking that stuff down and retweeting it with my comments.
Yeah.
But some of the things that we continue to talk about is just the collective athleticism, length, and size on this roster.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
writing about the size advantage right now that Arkansas has not had under Eric Musselman. We talk about Jalen Williams, who, by the way, has had his moments in summer league already. We forgot to mention that.
Oh yes, he
Showing
has.
those little things he does at both ends that lead to winning, man. Winning possessions leads to winning games.
Hmm.
But Jalen Williams was a fixture at both ends at 6'10" for Arkansas the past 2 seasons. But outside of him, in 3 years under Musselman, Arkansas has not had players in the rotation taller than 6'7". That's about to change. You've got at least 4 guys 6'9" or taller. At least 2 of those guys are going to be in that top 7 rotation. And then the collective length on the perimeter, I think, is as good as it's been at times under Musselman, but maybe even better when you start talking about the collective floor IQ and talent. When you've got
Yeah.
3 5 stars, 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", it makes a difference. So you talk about getting those glimpses. We can only dream about it and think about it of what we've seen leading up to this, high school careers, maybe at other schools before they transfer, looking at stats, looking at measurables. But to see in some of these clips, it kind of makes you thirsty, hungry, whatever, how you want to phrase it, for more.
Oh yeah.
But it tells me when I look at it that Arkansas's length, size, athleticism, and that collective floor IQ, I'm seeing that play out. And it tells me that I think this team is constructed better to have matchup versatility, because now it does have length and size on the front line. It still has quality in the backcourt and on those wings. So I think now there's more matchup versatility. And that's a scary process for everybody else in college basketball, Courtney, especially the SEC, given what Arkansas has done without all that matchup versatility in the last 2 years, back-to-back Elite Eights, back-to-back final national top 10 rankings, the best overall record in the SEC, and that includes games against league opponents. I think Arkansas's got a chance to be even better, even though there's 11 newcomers.
Yeah.
Chemistry's got to play out. Rotations, we know Musselman's had to tweak those on the go, but I
Mhm.
think the structure, the building blocks are there for Arkansas to have a potential Final Four team.
Oh, for sure. And you mentioned that size. I thought it was funny. Eric Musselman tweeted something out about comparing their team size to NBA teams size, and Arkansas has the leg up on some of those categories. And I retweeted that and I said, guys, this is basically an NBA team. Come on, this is basically an NBA team that we don't realize that these guys are huge. And I think it's going to take actually clips are great, but it's going to take actually seeing them in person for me to go, whoa, these guys are really, really big. They
Right.
have the size that's necessary to make another Final Four, to make a run in the tournament.
Yeah, because highlights aren't going to show you the bad stuff that they're having to work through or some of the mistakes. But I will also say this about that graphic he put out.
Yeah.
Arkansas slightly taller than the average NBA team and slightly longer when you talk about wingspan.
Yeah.
So we knew it was no coincidence that Musselman was recruiting to get bigger. Playing teams like Gonzaga and Duke in the NCAA tournament informed him of what he wanted to do, just like the previous year, playing that juggernaut small ball Baylor team that won the title
Yeah.
kind of informed him of that small ball recruiting he did after that season. So he's constantly looking for ways to get better. So it's no coincidence they got bigger. I also, Courtney, this is my speculation. I don't think it's a coincidence that Arkansas just happened to be a little bit taller and a little bit longer than the average NBA team. Musselman keeps stats on everything. He was an
Oh, yeah.
NBA coach forever.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was looking at that. And I don't think he just added bodies to get bigger and longer. He added quality, but he made sure that he did that. I think he did that with the distinctive purpose of later putting that out that Arkansas is taller and has a longer wingspan, a wider wingspan than NBA teams.
Hey, he's putting that out to put everybody else on notice, right? Around him and just
No
say,
doubt.
hey, Arkansas, look at what Arkansas is doing. And Coach Musselman is so great about that on Twitter. It feels like they're just in the conversation constantly, and it's great. And it's great for Arkansas as well. But we got to talk a little bit about the future of the program, too. We got a lot of events where Arkansas recruits are at coming up. And this week, kind of talk about the recruiting aspect of Arkansas right now and what the events are that we can see some recruits in.
2023 priority Arkansas target. ESPN ranks him number 4, 5-star. Arguably the top player in the country if you're in that top 5. Ron Holland, the 6'8" forward out of Duncanville, Texas.
Yeah.
Former high school teammate of Anthony Black, freshman Hog. Former grassroots teammate of Jordan Walsh, freshman Hog. Took that official visit right after Leighton Blocker, who we know has committed the in-state prospect that's a guard. But Holland right now is leading Team USA as we speak in the gold medal game at the under 17 FIBA World Cup in Spain.
Wow.
This team's undefeated to this point. Holland's arguably, I think he's been their best all-around player. He can score, he can rebound, he defends, he makes plays at both ends, and he's unselfish because he'll make the extra pass. I keep saying that. It's one of the things that Eric Musselman and his staff identify are guys that play the right way. Ron Holland's one of them, and I think Arkansas is in a great position. They're among the 4 college final choices that he has. He's also looking at the G League professional opportunity,
Yeah.
but he's a guy that I think Arkansas is in great shape with, and again, competing for a gold medal. And then you've got 2 class of 2024 guards on that same team that Arkansas has offered. One's taken an unofficial visit to Arkansas. David Castillo, 6'1" point guard out of Bartlesville, Oklahoma. ESPN ranks him number 7, 5-star. He's having a really good run at this event, averaging double-figure scoring. And then Ian Jackson out of the Bronx, New York. Arkansas recently offered him 6'4" guard, who's also had some really outstanding games. And so these 3
Nice.
guys are Arkansas's in on, but Ron Holland, keep an eye on him, class of 2023.
Definitely. We're definitely going to keep an eye on all of those guys moving forward. That's all the time we have for today's show, Kevin. Thanks as always for joining us, and we'll have much more Pig Trail coming up after the break. Perfect.